came to Pardes, I did not have a practice of daily davening. And in the past 3 years that I've been here, I've gone through many ways of expressing gratitude and devotion to God. From attempting to daven 3 times a day, to being a frequent participant in the egalitarian Shachrit and Mincha Minyan. Some of you don't know that. And to having times when I didn't daven at all, and other times when I just decided that when on my walk to school, I was going to think of a couple of things that I felt thankful for God and take a couple seconds to think about what I was grateful for that morning. And through all these changes in personal prayer practice, I kept coming back to Mincha. I don't know if it's the short amount of time of the service that makes it feel that it's the essence of Jewish prayer, and it's quick enough to not get distracted, or the fact that everybody is doing it here, so I kind of feel pushed, or a lot of people are davening here, so I feel pushed to participate. But I found very deep meaning in the daily practice of davening Mincha, and I feel that while I often feel that I'm fighting against feelings of meaninglessness in the actual prayer itself, for myself, it has become very rich for me to take a small amount of time out of my day to quiet the noisiness that's around me. And it's often felt like a gratitude journal that Oprah often talks about, which is just a way to think about a couple things that I feel grateful for, even the smallest thing, and acknowledge that in the busyness of life. So to open today's tefillah, I wanted to give some intention to Mincha for today, and I wanted to share a poem which has resonated with me and my personal theology. It's called River Clarion by Mary Olivers. Okay. Along the River Clarion. 1. I do not know who God is exactly, but I'll tell you this. I was sitting in a river named Clarion on a water-splashed stone, and all afternoon I listened to the voices of the river talking. And slowly, very slowly, it became clear to me what they were saying. Said the river, I am part of holiness. I too, said the stone, and I too, whispered the moss beneath the water. I've been to the river before, a few times. Don't blame the river that nothing happened quickly. You don't hear such voices in an hour or a day. You don't hear them at all if selfhood has stuffed your ears. And it's difficult to hear anything anyway, through all the traffic, the ambition. 2. If God exists, he isn't just butter and good luck. He's also the tick that killed my wonderful dog, Luke. If God exists, he isn't just churches and mathematics. He's the forest, he's the desert, he's the ice caps that are dying. He's the ghetto and the Museum of Fine Arts. He's Van Gogh and Allen Ginsberg and Robert Motherwell. He's the many desperate hands cleaning and preparing their weapons. He's every one of us, potentially. The leaf of grass, the genius, the politician, the poet. And if this is true, isn't it something very important? Yes, it could be that I am a tiny piece of God, and each of you too, or at least of his intention and his hope. 3. Of course, for each of us, there is the daily life. Let us live it gesture by gesture. When we cut the ripe melon, should we not give it thanks? And should we not thank the knife also? We do not live in a simple world. 4. There was someone I loved who grew old and ill. One by one, I watched the fires go out. There was nothing I could do, except to remember that we receive, that we give back. 5. I pray for the desperate earth. I pray for the desperate world. I do the little each person can do. It isn't much. Sometimes the river murmurs, sometimes it raves. 6. And the trees and the birds that have wings to uphold them, for heaven's sake. The lucky ones, they have such deep natures, they are so happily obedient. When I sit here in a house filled with books, ideas, doubts, hesitations. 7. And still, pressed into my mind, the river keeps coming, touching me, passing by on its long journey, its pale, infallible voice, singing.